Hey, Mr. Wait a minute. You're not Mr. Womble.
I'm Coach T.
And we're back. The last Tuesday of June. We're about to go. Let's go. Oh, yeah.
Man, introduction
Oh,
just get my blood flowing. Val, make me. I feel like I'm on game night, ready for that ball to tip off.
well, we are officially tipping off. We are back with Talk on Tuesdays. And guys, Interludes is streaming every Tuesday on our YouTube channel, Facebook private group, fan base, LinkedIn, and now we're available on the Pod TV Roku channel. If you'd like to be a sponsor on our platform, book time with us, please never miss an episode, and do that by going to Linktree /Pure Light Media. I'll go ahead and put all that wonderful information in the chat. And do you know, Coach T, we have a brand new sponsor.
Hello, who is this? Talk to me. Talk to me.
SAJ Publishing, Dr. Stephen Jones. He was a former guest, but he is a professional speaker and professor at Villanova University. And he has created some of the best online training courses to assist parents in preparing your young man, your young woman, or teen for college. If you're interested in learning more and receiving a free ebook, 7 Keys to Successful Online Learning, sign up at drjonesbooks.com, and Mr. Springer will go ahead and put that in the chat. Thank you so very much. Mr. Springer is with us, looking
Ain't gonna
very
care.
sharp,
Yeah,
looking
you look
sharp
at
and dapper Dan.
kind
There
of
you
dapper
go.
thing. Hey Val, we may have come in underdressed tonight. Looking at Kale.
I know. Well, I think I look good. I don't know about no underdress. I think I'm fine. I
Hey,
think
that's
I'm all
cause
right.
hey, you Val the voice. You gotta be straight. You know what I mean?
Oh my God. So Michael or Mr. Womble, he's enjoying time with family and friends, and he'll be back next time we return. But everybody, let's welcome Coach Tony.
Hey,
Woo!
I want to thank Mr. Womble because you know, when you playing a game, Val, you got substitutes, right? No matter what sport it is.
Mhm.
I'm just glad Mike said, "Hey, you know something? I got one of the best 6 man off the bench. We put Coach Tony here. Boom. You're gonna handle it right here for us." I'm just thank you very much. Show my versatility of both sides of the ball, and it's good and it's great to hang out with Val the voice. And as she said earlier, if you haven't hit that little button right here that says subscribe, tell them about it, Kevin. Push your button that says subscribe and
Mhm.
subscribe to this show as we are growing in numbers.
Oh my gosh. Yes. So go ahead and let people know about it, and go ahead and subscribe to the YouTube channel. But we're all over the place. We're on LinkedIn. I'm saying hello. If you're in the chat, go ahead and say hello. Give us a shout from wherever you're at.
There you
And
go.
wow, you know what? June, we're coming to the end of June, and it's coming to the end of Black Music Month. It has been a fun month to look back. Juneteenth, you got Prince's birthday. There was a lot of things happening this month, but now I always look forward to, as Michael would say, the Black People Awards. It's technically BET.
Right, right. But Val, it's funny you say that because I didn't get an opportunity because I've been, hit and miss because I've been traveling, getting everything
Mhm.
squared away, and recruiting has been a heavy month. July is going to be crazy for me. But,
Mhm.
I missed most of June. I want you guys, and I'm going to go back to one of my old favorite movies, right? And it was,
Mhm.
When Did You Know You Was in Love with Hip Hop? Right? You remember that verse, right?
Oh my gosh, that's a Brown Sugar. You guys remember Brown Sugar?
Good. So I'm gonna take it back as a Chicagoan. and a semi DJ. Of course, I'm in the house music era. Love my house music. Obviously, Frankie Knuckles, Farley Funk and Keith. But when it came out to the hip hop, man, I was just a complete Nas fan. And I never got a chance to
Oh,
share that with you
wow.
guys during the music month. So I'm just let you. I think Nas, being a lyricist and everything else, and his music and what he did for the industry, and he's. I got an opportunity. Val, he came to Nashville. And he. I don't know if you've seen this or not, but if you haven't, you need to YouTube it. But Nas came to Nashville and played with the Nashville Symphony. You know how hard that is?
Wow. Yeah,
Yes.
that's exciting. Oh my gosh. Well, my thing is that there's a lot of people. Oh, and Kevin agrees with you. He says Nas is the goat. So that's kind of how that works. But but my thing is that I watch the BET Awards and I'm thinking to myself, oh my Lord, who do I know? But you know what? What I'm gonna do is just break it on down because I was just really
Yeah, let it
excited.
be broke.
Yeah, Let It Be Broke. Now, who opened the show in a gold glittery looking like a disco ball, but
Yes.
just all about positivity. Lizzo. And she's
Right.
got a song out called About Damn Time, and that
About
song
damn
is
time.
very popular among the TikTokers. And she's been TikToking with that song too. So that's really exciting. So all of the faces that you see, I was just happy to see some very familiar faces to myself. MC Light is
A goat.
your
I mean, I love MC Light.
yes.
Sometimes I'm just glad, and the funny part about it is, I want to thank BET the way they set these shows up, how they honor somebody and
Mhm,
they get these artists to sing for them and they do all this stuff. But
mhm.
the Source Awards does great because obviously the Source Awards is coming up next. But I can't wait till they honor MC Light. I don't know if you know or not. She's a professor down at is it Spelman or Clark Atlanta.
I want to say Clark Atlanta, and she's also a producer of a show on a different network. It's a sitcom, but whenever they have an award show, and in fact, she did the biggest one. She did the Oscars. She was the background announcer, letting everyone know this person is coming and this person is coming, and because we, this is the culture's biggest night. That's the hashtag that was popular during the BET Awards. You had people, the cameras showed MC Light, like you see in this shot here, actually announcing because we know her, we love her, and she has transitioned into being a great voiceover act, which I'm just thinking you are
Yeah,
an MC, but we gonna always remember everything. But Taraji P. Henson, Cookie from
Cookie.
Empire, Cookie.
Man, Cookie had about 50 outfits, did she?
Yeah, I'm just about to show all of them. I think this is just a fraction of the
Right. Yeah, because
clothes she stays
you
into.
didn't get the red one. The red one she had when she was like red. Oh my goodness. I thought she was at a flashback at Cookie Lyons on that one.
I know. And you know what? I People were using the platform to literally talk and just get their voices heard. The line that got me that Taraji was saying, guns have more rights than a woman. And
Yes.
it's a sad day in America. A weapon that can take lives has more power than a woman who can give life if she chooses to. And she kicked it off, and everybody that anyone that accepted or said something afterwards, they was taking them dibs at what happened with Roe versus Wade being reversed. I mean, whoo,
I mean,
Taraji, but she did a great job with the monologue, man. It was
oh
great.
yes, excellent job. And and that's one of those things about that she pulled in, being a powerful black. I'm gonna tell you what I really liked, at that segment more than anything was the honoree. And I didn't realize when Debbie Allen came on, right?
Oh
And start
yeah.
talking about the Howard people. And Taraji was the first actress out of Howard to receive
Mhm.
Felicia and Debbie Allen's award as they were, getting things together to start to, put their production company together. So Taraji is not only, heads and heels over a lot of actresses doing her thing, but as a Howard University alum, man, she's put
Mhm.
it down. She's actually put it down.
Mhm. And
And
I
Debbie
think
could do nothing but thank her.
I know, and I think that she did the commencement speech, and I believe they gave Taraji a honorary degree. So she mentioned that she's now Dr. Taraji.
Yeah. She's like, call me doctor, you know what I'm saying? So, it's like Shaq. I'm big as all I do, but call me Dr. Shaq, right? So, I mean, I think now I'm gonna tell you something. And Kevin, I want you to put this out to our listeners and our subscribers because I really want to know your thoughts. Now, Val, you and I didn't talk about it, you didn't mention it, but did you see? Let me remind myself. Did
Uh-oh,
you
okay.
see
Who did I who
Gabrielle Union's red carpet outfit?
Oh yeah, I did. I did. And to me, that's kind of like, hey, this is what I'm going. Dwayne Wade is enjoying all of this, and this is just a tease for everybody else. Just
Hey,
hello.
I'm gonna turn into Michael Wamba for a moment. Ooh, I love this Gabrielle. Oh, bring this Gabrielle back here. Where's Gabrielle? Get Dwayne. I need some Gabrielle.
I know. And the and I mean, it was a lot of people that were showing up that I just thought, man, you grace the stage and you do your thing. I got educated. I had Michael kind of educate me on this young lady. I had been hearing this song for hours and hours,
Oh
and
yeah,
she performed.
all right.
What is her name? Let me look and see what her name is because I wrote it down. Um, she was one of the nominees for Best New Artist, and I'm gonna know
Yes,
it's like Money. If I'm saying her name right, because you know these children, I don't know them. So okay,
man.
here we go. Money Long, that's her
Yeah,
name,
yeah,
Money
yeah.
Long.
Money long for hours and hours. I mean, and the thing about it is, what was so cool about it though, Val, was she came out and looked like she was in a long, long red dress, and it was the
Hmm.
dancers with the flowers. Oh man! And
Yes,
then when they flipped
yes.
them different roles, oh my God, that was so great. But like she said, like Taraji said, give me somebody who can do it for hours now. Where they at?
She kept having those one line stingers everywhere, and then of course Janelle Monae, she did another dig and just said, "Hey, screw the justice and everything." She just really got upset about the
Yeah,
Roe versus
you
Wade.
know.
But I love that outfit she was wearing, though. This was
No,
working,
oh
honey.
man, they killed the stage. I tell you what, but I'm gonna
Mhm.
give it up. And before I say it, and Kevin, I want you to ask the audience tonight. Watch the show. Who did they like as their best performer on the night? Because I really
Yeah.
love what BET. Now, who was your best performer, Val?
You know what? As I'm thinking about it, if I'm looking at these pictures correctly, another young man that I don't know, Chance the Rapper, representing Chicago. He was
I
there
like
chilling,
Sam.
having a good time. But this performance was interesting. This was Lil Wayne, and this is a song that samples Fergie's song Glamorous. What
Glamorous,
is
yeah,
the guy's name? I can't think of the guy's name because he performed, but I wanted to it was really fun to see Brandy come out and just
yes.
kind of channeled a kind of her
Well, I'm glad it
her
was Brandy
character her character from
versus
Queens.
yeah.
She channeled her character from the ABC drama Queens. So I was just thinking, oh my gosh, will you look at this girl? So and then of course her brother's in the audience, like, yeah, that's my sister. And I was like, oh my goodness, okay.
I'm glad it was Brandon, not Ray J, because I don't know when you heard Ray J sing. Oh my goodness, he needs to keep on staying with VH1 episode. But
But the one thing I will say is that the show really got started off on a really wonderful note. There is a wonderful gospel group called Maverick City Music, and they
yes,
are currently
yes,
on tour with Kurt Franklin.
yes,
And I mean, I felt like usually they have, gospel kind of pushed either to the last song or somewhere in the middle of the award show, but they literally, I think that was one of the performances. And I was really touched because, and what was funny, the honoree for the lifetime achievement in this shot, you see, Puffy raised his hand. He's like,
right.
"Oh,
He's like, hey man, let me get that. hey, 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 if you want to sing in a video, just come and join Bad Boys, right?
Bad Boys for Life." But it kicked
Bad
off
Boys
the
for life.
show.
But
It kicked off the show really, really cool. But go ahead.
you know what I like about what Kurt Franklin did though, Val?
Mhm.
He did you hear his speech? He said, when you
Yeah.
are an employer, and you take all the accolades, but the employees want to do the work. When you are a superstar, you take all the awards in the NBA ring, but the trainer is the one who trained you. And then we never give back. So he said, I want to take this award because it's like a pastor at a church who don't know when to step down, right? He's been there
Mhm.
so long, he just don't know when to pass the baton. He said, I got plenty of these hanging up in my house. I want to pass it on this young group, like you said, is up and coming. I thought that was
Mhm.
absolutely smashing. But to
Oh,
me,
wow.
yeah,
Yes.
because he didn't have to do that.
No, he did not.
He didn't have to do that. So he took that award. He said, I got plenty of these in the house. I'm gonna pass it along because now they got that award, and now they're gonna say, wow, this is what Kirk Franklin did for me. And now they're gonna really put the work and the time into being successful. So
Yeah.
you haven't heard the last of this group, they just getting started.
And my thing is and I was talking about this with Michael earlier, that in the faith-based communities in certain sects, I'm telling you that pastor or whoever that leader is, they're holding on to that leadership for dear life. But it's like, no, this is when you pass the baton. And
Correct.
if wait a minute, and if you are claiming to love and follow the main dude, Jesus, what did he do with 12 disciples? He was mentoring them. So
Correct.
that was the
Hey,
example. We should be doing that, mentoring. Come on now.
somebody didn't sit in front of the class though, Val.
Well, if Kevin followed you, he put it in the chat. Who was your best performer for the night for the BET Awards? Go ahead and
I'm
let
gonna
us
give it
know in
to
the
you.
chat.
Being
Mm-hmm.
an old school DJ
Yeah,
and
there you
loving
go.
and
Mm-hmm.
knowing, and you guys gonna love my answer because me being Coach Tony, I gotta keep it where it's at.
Oh, wait,
But
your voice went down. Your voice went down. What you got?
am I still there?
Oh, there you go. You better. You did. There you go.
Yeah, I got a phone call. I love the performance with none other than Kid and Play with House Party One, House Party Two, House Party Three, and I like
Yes.
play. I like when kids say, "Hey, I ain't young no more. I'm up. I'm tired as hell," because that's the truth, you know. And but he spit the lyrics out. He knew it was live, Val, and not
Mm-hmm.
only was it live, he spit the lyrics out. He play was right on point, and then they broke down with the house party step. Oh my goodness, on the stage, roll and roll and roll with Kid and Play. Oh my goodness,
That
hey,
was
I
fun.
was absolutely. And what I loved about that, they just came off the gospel. And then you go to Kid and
Mm-hmm.
Play, and did you
Yeah.
see the audience rocking? I'm seeing Rick
Oh,
Ross,
yeah.
I'm seeing Jeezy, I'm seeing Puff Daddy, I'm seeing Kerry Hilson who got an award. I mean, they rolling, and that just lets you know back then, as I say, the old school days when you were getting ready to graduate, coming through in them early '90s. That's when Kid and Play was at its highest, and a lot of these rappers now don't understand. They wouldn't do and be where they're at today without some of these guys really paving the way in the old genres of rap hip hop.
And the one thing I will say, I knew that if Puff was going to get the Lifetime Achievement Award, some of my through line performances was with everything dealing with Puffy and then Bad Boy, and then to see Jodeci, not all four, but at least three of them. We saw
Right.
Casey, and then I saw Mary, and I noticed that
Mary.
she didn't share the stage. She came after them, kind of a distance or whatever. But it was wonderful if you could see they have the Uptown Records. And I
Yep.
think in his acceptance speech, he thanked also Andre Harrell because he was mentored by Andre as an A&R person. I think this is Shine, and he
Yep.
performed with Puffy, and then of course, with the Black People Awards, if you get a if you get a if you get a lifetime achievement, you can go ahead and perform your own music. And then
Right,
of
right,
course,
right. Hey, I ain't Puff Daddy for nothing. You know what I mean? So
yeah, so I'm gonna get out here and perform. And I love seeing Busta Rhymes, and because he owns Ciroc, instead of saying Pastor Cavassier, they said Pastor Ciroc. I said, okay, there you go. Go ahead.
hey, and I knew he's gonna push his own vodka,
Of
because
course.
he'll get one up. Hey, if I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it right now. So you got to figure, hey, I'm Puff Daddy. You know what was so cool about that though, Val? you
Mhm.
remember as the awards from all the years and all
Mhm.
the things that we took as a bad as the black culture
Mhm.
early on with award shows, especially when the Source came on with Snoop and the Dog Pound and all these boys on the West Coast, East Coast had that. Look at it today, and Puffy gets a lifetime achievement award, and he survived all that. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And he's still, making good music and putting people out. And to have, like you said, Mary J. Blige, and Mary didn't really have to perform since she just coming off of a Super Bowl run, right?
Exactly. It was good to see her perform one of her kind of a remake, I'm Going Down. So that was fun to see that. But
Oh man,
I wanted to call out a performer that came out there and almost a little unrecognizable. I did not recognize and she's coming up soon, Little Kim. I did
oh,
not
Lil Kim.
recognize
That's
her.
because
Yeah.
Lil Kim ain't Lil Kim no more. That's why.
I was looking and I was just like, well, she been eating some beans and grits. I didn't get it.
Hey,
I'm being funny though, but I
yeah,
just didn't understand. I was like, oh my gosh, is that her? But she did get out there and do her thing and went ahead and represent. But this was the part that got me a little emotional. There was Puff comes out, and then you in the background you see a, video of Kim Porter. Is that her
yeah,
name?
yeah.
And the first thing in my mind, I'm thinking like the jilted bride, like why didn't you marry
Right,
this girl? But he loved her. They had children, and so they did the "I'm missing you." So of course they switched from Kim to showing Biggie, and then of
right.
course Faith Evans came out and performed. But yeah, so it was recognized that Sean really thanked a lot of people that weren't that's no longer here. Think about everyone he thanked. He thanked Heavy D, no longer here. Andre Harrell, no longer here. Biggie, no longer here. And I'm like, and then of course Kim. Oh, Coach, what Kanye. I mean,
Yeah,
but
yeah, yeah, came in. But I think the biggest miss on this Val, and it's me
mm-hmm,
personally, and
mm-hmm,
I don't know if you know it or not. Do you know that Tupac just turned 51 last week? And I thought that
mm-hmm.
the BET could have done something on that Shiny Star stage regarding Tupac as well. And I knew with them honoring Puff that Biggie was a shoe in. You know what I mean? That's just like
Exactly. Right.
talking to me about the show. Val's a shoe in, Mike's a shoe in because that's where I'm at. But I thought they could have somehow or another thrown the Tupac situation in there, turning 51 years of age, this year, a week before the award show, and all that. And another question, Kevin, I want to ask the audience: who was your surprise act of the night? Who surprised you getting an award?
Wow. And I'm thinking about some of the folks that won. Now, I was really happy with the win for, I want to say, Jasmine Sullivan.
Okay.
She won, I believe, the Grammy, and then also because they had some heavy hitters. They had some heavy hitters under best. I want to say, yeah, best R&B
Yep.
and pop artist. So that's what they had. So she was up against Mary J. Blige, Summer Walker, Ari Lennox, Chloe, Doja Cat, and just so she ended up winning. And I was thinking, oh my gosh! So that song, "Don't Forget to Come and Pick Up Your,"
Right.
we ain't gonna say
Right.
it.
Come get it. Come get it right now.
Exactly. And of course, the award show that always disses, unfortunately, the weekend, he always gets his flowers here at BET. BET awarded him best male R&B pop artist. And then, of course, if I can see this, if it's up here, best group. Do you know who won best group?
Come on, that's my boy, the Silk Sonic. That's all I'm talking
Oh
about.
my
That's
goodness.
all. Hey, that's the smartest guy in music to me right now is
Mm-hmm.
Bruno Mars. He don't put out albums. Think about it, Val. He don't
Mm-hmm.
put out albums year after year. Bruno only puts out albums when he knows he's got a hit. And then
Mm-hmm.
Anderson Paak. He's not really the quintessential uh, uh, black artist that a lot of the black artists follow because he's got a lot of heavy white audience, right? But
Mm-hmm.
to join up with Bruno Mars and
Uh-huh.
Looking out the window.
I
Come on,
know.
man.
I
And,
know. I
and, and,
know.
and that album was just off the chain in the cut. And then they followed that up with another jam behind that. That is incredible. But the surprising artist to me, with two of them, was one, I didn't realize, I don't know if you did, the Whispers has been performing for 55 years, 53 years on the award, and this the
Yeah.
2 years before, so 55 years out of Compton, California. And
Yeah,
that
that
was
makes
their
sense.
first red carpet in 53 years. That's crazy.
Yeah, that all of that makes sense. And my thing is, if you've been, we had an episode. Our previous podcast was talking about black black famous versus real famous, and I feel like the Whispers falls into that line of
Right.
being black famous and the great wonder. We thank Don Cornelius for having the platform to make black
So
people famous.
true.
Soul Train, you were in, before, because everyone was thinking, oh, Patti LaBelle, new attitude. This is a great brand new artist. And we're like, the girl's been performing since the late 60s. You all are just
Right.
catching up. You all are just
Exactly.
catching up.
You just catching up. And I tell you, the surprise artist to me, which I didn't know, and I DJ and I listened to a lot,
Hmm.
ended up being none other than Karen White. I knew she had a lot of albums, and Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis helped her out. But
Hmm.
I didn't know until I watched the BET that Tevin Campbell is the
Hmm.
only artist that Prince ended up signing before the age of 20. That's
Hmm.
huge. 14 years
Yeah.
old, and he's
Yeah.
saying on that graffiti, and we just talked about the Prince album a
We
few
did.
weeks
We
ago.
talked
Remember?
about, yeah, 'cause we were celebrating his. We actually had a Tuesday on his birthday, June 7th. So yeah,
Yes.
we were talking about it. And he did a great rendition of, what was that song? Break It Down. I
Yeah,
don't
break.
care. Break. Yeah, yeah. So that was my jam. But here, one of the brand new artists that won was Lotto, and
Oh, yeah.
I didn't know anything about her at
Oh,
all.
let
She
me tell you something,
performed.
pal.
Yeah, I
Do
didn't know
you
anything about her.
do you remember? So let me go back on Lotto. That's my girl. I like Lotto. I'm down here
Okay.
close to the
Yeah,
ATL,
no.
right? So
Mhm.
Lotto ended up being. I don't know if you know that Jermaine Dupri had a show where
Mhm.
he had a contest the last it ran, I want to say 3 seasons. And Kevin, you can fact check that, but I'm almost positive. And he had this show, and on the show, Val, he would have all these young artists. They would battle each other week after week after week. And then he would
Mhm.
eliminate people to come down to the final artist. And Lotto was on season one. Now, here's the funny thing about that. She didn't win on season one. I'm sorry, she won on season one. She comes out of a family. Her dad was a hustler, straight up on the
Mhm.
streets. She grew up in Atlanta. She's always been out there hustling. She knew that way. So when that music and that Atlanta sound kind of hit, she
Mhm.
then came back before this album dropped. If you won the Jermaine Dupri show, you got like
Mhm.
a supposedly got $100,000 record deal, right? So
Wow, okay.
Lotto said it never happened, Val. They never got the money. It was a hoax. It was crazy. It was ridiculous. And she cut ties with Jermaine Dupri and dropped that new album. And she talks about it a little bit in a few cuts. But the funny part about it is she takes this song that's a big hit right now, and a lot of you young guys don't know, because me being a DJ, I'm gonna give it to you. It's the Tom Tom Club, right?
Oh, now
Boom,
that was
boom,
that was
boom,
a,
boom,
that was
boom, boom, boom,
that was a,
boom, boom.
and I'm trying to get to that. I'm trying to get to that pictures now, because who ended up coming out there, because I felt like this was a remake on top of a remake on top of a remake.
Yeah,
So
but
I
she
when she
dropped it.
yeah, when she performed, and I was thinking, "Oh my gosh, that's the fantasy song, the sweet
Yeah,
fantasy song with Mariah Carey."
yeah,
So when
right. And
Mariah
Mariah Carey
Carey
got to
shows
go
up
back.
at the very end of the performance, I was like,
Yes.
"Oh,
Yeah. And
I
then
didn't get that."
you plug them in, and that's how go. But if you really want to go back to the beats, how these guys do, you got to go back to the late '80s and hit the Tom Tom Club, and it's the
Mm,
Genius of Love. I'm in
yeah.
love.
So she was
Boom, 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 boom.
very emotional getting her acceptance speech, and she was up against with the brand new artist. Let me look and see who was nominated for best new artist. Who was she up against? She was up against Baby Keem, Ben-
Yes,
Benny the Butcher.
Benny
uh,
Butcher,
we just mentioned Money Long, and she did a
Money
great
Long,
thing.
Tim's
Tim
out of Africa,
out
and
of out of
then
Lagos, yes, and
Legos,
Young
and then
Blue.
this Young Blue, which I love
Yeah.
Young Blue record with Chris
Okay.
Brown. I love that Young Blue album and this single with Chris Brown. But that's great because this young lady ended up in that
Mhm.
crowd and she wins that award is phenomenal on this
Mhm.
particular single right here that would just blow me out of the water.
And then you remember Blackish, or
Oh yeah. Oh,
Marsai Martin is all grown up. She's a Young
grown
Stars
up.
Award. I'm like, oh my lord, this girl then
I,
grew
I told
up.
I told my son, my people, hey, y'all better figure out how to get in touch with her. She get ready to turn 18. She say, I'm gonna be able to stay out after 11 o'clock in a few weeks.
Yes, and then that was Mariah. That's Mariah Carey appearing at the very end of the song with Lotto. And I found out that her name initially was Mulatto,
Yeah,
and
mulatto,
unfortunately
and she
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 changed
changed
it.
it because of
Mhm.
the significance of that with her, with her branding and who she is. And so then
Mhm.
she dropped it and she changed it. But I tell you, the artist that I love, that I was in love with, man, and she's still gorgeous and still puts out good music, is none other
Mhm.
than Carrie Hilson. Oh, Carrie came
Okay.
in the performance. I love that Carrie's the man because that was on the front end of when Kanye was, not having to take no medicine, right?
Oh my gosh. Well, all I'm saying is that the BET Awards was fun to watch, and
Yes.
and it's an education for me always. The Bobby Jones, Dr. Bobby Jones Best Gospel and Inspiration Award. There was folks that was in there, but the people that ended up winning is We Win, Little Baby, X, and Kirk Franklin.
But come on, Val. Hey, man, you been from Chicago, right? If
Mm-hmm.
we don't give homage to none other than Jerry the Iceman Butler, we got to shut the show
Okay.
down. Come on, we got to represent Jerry Iceman Butler. And I thought the young guy that sang that song, he's coming up. He's pretty good. He's got a solid voice. He actually sang, a couple of songs that night, which was actually awesome. And I really want to thank BET. I thought that they did a excellent job of getting artists, young artists. But I do like what Tevin Campbell said. If
Mhm.
we don't support Black artists, Black interchanges, and what we do as Black people, then how
Mhm.
do we expect to get the masses to help us out? Because they're not going to get it. We got to
Right.
support one another. We do enough, knocking down each other's walls. We got to continue to build each other up. And it's got to be shows like BET, and then the sources got to change. Because if not, no one else is going to honor us. Country music does a hell of a good job on the CMAs, and they're all about country and everything that's country music, right?
Yeah, well, Williams says that they need to expand awards. There's too many under one grouping, and I definitely have to agree with that, because I
Yeah,
feel like
well,
with when they had what was this, the all the women, Ari Lennox doesn't sound like Chloe, and
correct.
Chloe has a different sound than Doja Cat. Then Doja Cat doesn't sound like her, and Mary J. Blige is kind of like the goat. So it's just
The
kind of
coach.
like
Yeah. And how do you
I
put that?
don't know
And then my boy didn't get one. And, and,
who's that.
and Kevin, I don't know what the audience think about it because I've heard some good and bad about it. Val, I don't even know if you listen to it. Me being a house DJ, I
Mhm.
absolutely love what Drake has done with his new album. I got a lot of people hit him, but Drake is smart. I was listening
Yeah.
last week. Somebody said that, oh, Drake is about to kill hip hop. And my version is saying, wait a minute. If you got one artist who decided to make a house music album, and if he's
Mhm.
that good to kill rap, that means rap was already dying, right? Because one artist can't kill a whole genre. He may kill
No,
another artist, but he can't kill a
no,
genre. So
no.
with
I don't.
Drake, Drake got smart. He says, wait a minute, I'm going to these clubs. I'm over in London, right? I'm over in Australia.
Mhm.
I'm doing a Lollapalooza in Chicago, and I'm
Right.
watching nothing but this new EDM house music. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to step over and I'm going to get the audience, right? Not our audience, not the blacks. I'm going to step over that line and I'm going to get all this EDM, the younger white kids and these bigger audience who are coming to these type of events, and they're packing 50, 60,000 people. If not, ask Idris Elba, right, who stopped acting and became a house DJ because he
I
said he makes
know.
more money than acting. That's crazy.
I know, and he that was one for him, and Will Packard appeared on and presented an award too. And they actually have a movie that Will is producing that's coming out later this summer. I will say this: I was trying to figure out what they presented the best actress, and I believe that was either Sanaa Lathan or another actress that presented that. But I was like, I wonder why they didn't present best actor. So
Yeah,
according to the Hollywood Reporter, there were several awards that was not presented on air, including the Best Actor category, and the win did go to Will Smith for
yeah,
King Richard.
King Richard. I
I
was
believe
shocked.
I believe that the producers did not want to have any drama uh at the Black People Awards. I mean the BET Awards.
I still, Val, I was completely shocked, about it. I understand it's not there, but I was completely shocked. But when you look at the categories they threw up, he had to win that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah. And the people that was in that too. But anywho, this is usually your time to talk sports. And I think one of the big things that happened just before the weekend started was the NBA draft. And I definitely I need education on it because I'm sitting up here trying to figure out who did what when and who are we looking out for. So let me just go on back to the
And my
very
man
beginning
right
here.
there in that purple suit, and Val, I'm gonna tell you one that you're gonna love it. This is how this stuff go. Guess who
Mhm.
was in New York with Banchero when he got drafted number one?
Who?
None other than our guest a few weeks ago, Mr. Noah Williams.
Noel Williams was there?
Yeah, Noah and Powell played ball high schools. They've been connected at the hips since about eighth and ninth grade. So that's how I got on Powell early on, and that's why I had him going either one or two. Him and Jabari, and with him, Jabari Smith out of Auburn. By the way, later on because he didn't go number one, he fell to number three. He said a couple things on a podcast show that was to me a little below the line, below the hip. He could have cleaned that up. I don't know if it'll hurt him, moving
Mhm.
forward. But he could have been a little more graceful than that because he still ended up being the highest Auburn guy picked, even outside of Charles Barkley. And then
Mhm.
this kid in our back door from Minnesota, Chet Holmgren from Gonzaga, the big 7'1" kid, goes number two. He stayed pretty much where everybody wanted him to go. But that number one, number two, and number three kid is, oh my God, that's going to be phenomenal. What
So
they've got.
so they're saying that he's a playmaker, he has great physicality, and he's an elite scorer. And he ended up going to what NBA team?
He got drafted by
Orlando?
the Orlando Magic. So the
Mhm.
Magic is looking at, we got Shaquille O'Neal. Look what happened.
Mhm.
We got
Yeah.
we got Penny Hardaway. What happened? And then we got Dwight Howard. All three of those were number one picks. And all three of those, doing those number one picks, Orlando went to the playoffs and they went deep in the playoffs. And to get this young man, and then they had another pick, I want to say number 15 or 16. So they picked up two in that first round. They're
Mhm.
going to make some noise this year because, Banchero, he's all that. And then Coach K knew it. And he came out and had a beautiful speech thanking him and letting him know, he's
Mhm.
proud of him and what he did. But to me, Val,
Yeah.
in the draft, I'm Big Ten heavy. In the Big Ten rule that night, we had like 8 or 9 guys out of the Big Ten get drafted. But the
Mhm.
kid that you got to watch that I think is going to end up being the biggest superstar out of this early draft pick is none other than Jay Navi from Purdue. That's the young man whose mother is the head coach at Notre Dame. She
Okay.
played in the WNBA. She coached in the NBA, and she coached none other than my guy that's down in Memphis right now in Ja Morant. So they
Okay.
are already touting him to be the next Ja Morant with the quickness and the speed. and he's at a guard position coming in. So it's going to be interesting. NBA, for you guys that don't know, and Kevin let them know, if you're interested in taking a look at these kids and seeing how they're going to do before they sign, the NBA Summer League starts next week in Las Vegas, and these guys will be on NBA TV throughout the day playing, and in the evening time, you'll get a chance to watch them for free.
Right. And what do you think about Chet?
I like him. They keep talking about he was the steal of the draft because of
Mhm.
his length. They tell us they were kind of remind him of Giannis Antetokounmpo up in Milwaukee. The
Mhm.
difference is that Chet can put the ball on the floor because he was an actual guard before he picked
Uh-huh.
up. They said he was like 6'4", 6'5" as a freshman in high school. And Val, he grew
Mhm.
like 7 inches, kind of like what happened to Anthony Davis, right?
Oh,
Anthony
he's
Davis,
that tall?
yeah. So Anthony Davis was
Wow.
a guard when he was at Simeon, and then he grew 7'1". So that's where it was going with Chet, and that's where they put him in the post. So you got a big guy who's got guard-like instincts and can step away and shoot the three. Giannis Antetokounmpo, he couldn't do that. He had to develop that game when he got here. Once he got to Milwaukee, so you got a kid
Okay.
that's coming in, and he's going to make an immediate impact.
And what team did Chet get picked up by?
Chet went to God, why I should know this is I'm drawing a blank here. Um, he went number two, not Houston, because Jabari went to Houston. I gotta look it up. I'm going crazy. I should know this off
Okay,
the top of
I'm
my head.
looking up. I'm looking it up because you sent it to me earlier. I
Yeah,
think Chet went to Thunder.
yeah, that's right. Oklahoma Thunder. I don't know why I didn't remember that. Uh, what I like about that on the Thunder move, Al, is they've dumped all their superstars, right?
Uh-huh.
Think about if the Oklahoma Thunder would have kept Kevin Durant,
Mm.
Westbrook, Okafor,
Ooh.
right? They had
Mhm.
a whip. They had the top 3 or 4 NBA guys who are now. They would have
Right.
been playing lights out in Oklahoma City and probably would have won 2 or 3 rings. But
Yeah.
the power of playing with LeBron James, right? The power of playing with Dwayne Wade, and these guys broke that NBA up, and you got what you got right now.
I know, I know. And then the third draft pick, you told me about this young man. I believe.
Jabari Smith. Jabari
Yes,
Smith, yeah,
Jabari Smith. Yeah.
out of
So
Auburn. Now he fell to Houston, where everybody thought Banchero was going to go. And even though he said a few things, I think Jabari's going to fit well in Houston because they got rid of James Harden. He's
oh,
not
he's
down there.
gone. Okay,
Right?
he's gone.
Westbrook is not there no more. So
Okay.
you got a team in Houston that needs to rebuild. You got Hakeem Olajuwon and Clyde Drexler and those guys down there is going to wrap their arms around the kid. And the kid's an elite player. Shoot the ball. He can handle the
Mhm.
ball. Completely an elite player. Now, the one thing that got me upset about the draft, and I'm not too
Uh-oh.
upset, is that the Bulls, we didn't get better. That's why
Oh
I'm wearing my
no.
socks at. We drafted a kid. I don't know if you guys remember Jason Terry. I love Jason Terry together, but we got it's right. Dalen Terry, Jason Terry's
Mhm.
son, coming out of
Okay.
none other than University of Arizona. He's a 6'7", 195 pounds. He kind of lean. Bulls are, I'm sure they're gonna put about 20, 25 pounds on him, when they get him in there. But here's the problem, Val.
Oh no.
Zach LaVine did too much care about the draft pick. So now he's entertaining free agency, and I don't like to hear that.
Oh
Uh,
no.
if we lose Zach LaVine, DeMar and Alonzo can't get it done, and this kid's going to take 2 years to develop anyway. And I just don't like it. I think if Zach sits still and we keep him, DeRozan, and then Alonzo be coming back off the knee injury this year, and you add in this kid, I think the Bulls got a chance. Because think about it. The
Mhm.
Bulls were number one in the Central Division in the NBA for halfway through the season.
Yeah,
And
they were
yeah,
doing pretty good.
and then injuries. Billy Donovan couldn't help it, but then injuries popped up as a part of the game. And then when the
Mhm.
injuries popped up, we didn't have the bench that
To
was ready.
recover.
Exactly,
Mhm.
exactly. And so what
And
happens is boom,
and Mark
and
and Mark has a question for you. Hey coach, who's winning the summer TBT tourney?
ooh,
Tourney?
ooh. I like B3, man. I like B3. I like them. They're tough, but the old man who played ball with me back in the day is, Mobley. I think Mobley, he still got his game on, he still can play, but I like B3. I think they're gonna win a big
Mhm.
game. I love what Ice Cube is doing. He continues to have this league going on, and they continue to get support. They continue to get State Farm and Pepsi and these guys of that nature putting money in it. I think is absolutely awesome.
Wow, and that's the league that Ice Cube is putting money
Yeah.
into.
So you got Dr. Dre, you got World Be Free, you got uh Tiny Nate Archibald, you got all these old pros, and they coach these guys. They play 3-on-3 half court, Val, and you can have 5 people on your team, but only 3 can play at a time. And they play it like we did in the backyard. If
Oh
you miss it,
yeah.
check it behind the line. Let's go, baby. But they have these shots on the floor that if you make shots from a certain distance, you can get a 4-point shot. You can't do that in the NBA.
Oh,
And they came up with the end of the game, which is they've been trying to institute it in the NBA or some All Star, which you saw the All Star this year instituted it in. And that is you play 2 live quarters. And at the
okay.
end of the game, the winning team with the last 2 minutes, then it's the first team to get to a certain point. So if I'm up on you, let's say, for example, 80 to 70, then the game is 90. And if you get to 90 before I get to 80, then you win the game. But if I get to 80, then the game gets extended, like win by 2. So I
Wow.
think it's a phenomenal feat. Now, I want to hope that this summer that the TBT and the NBA Summer League does one thing for me, and that is continue, because we didn't talk about it, to give props to Title IX. 50 years in women and what the women mean to the sports, from Billie Jean King to Pat Summitt to a lot of these players that we've got, Candace Parker and all these girls that we've supported, Brittany Griner, who's still locked up overseas. And if it
Yeah, I
wasn't
hate
for
that.
Title IX 50 years ago, Val, we wouldn't have the likes of the WNBA and what we're seeing right now.
And I literally watched a lot of videos with these 3 young ladies who were commentating during the draft, and so they talked about Title IX as well, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I'm so grateful for every every woman that I see commentating who were former basketball players." But here's the question for you. What do you think about the latest deal with Kyrie Irving staying
Er,
with the Brooklyn Nets?
Yeah,
The
so
Brooklyn
Kev, we talked about Kyrie. We know his beliefs.
Nets.
Kyrie end up, stopped playing early season, Val, when COVID hit. So to give you a little background, he was a player of the NBA, even though New York City and the governor said if you're not vaccinated, you can't play a sport in the state.
Yeah, I remember
So
that.
he
Uh-huh.
he was able to play outside of New York, but not in the state of New York. So it's only 82 NBA games. So he only got a chance to play half the games. So
Okay.
later on, when the COVID was lifted, he was available come playoff time. Now he wants out after he signed a multi-million-dollar deal. So Brooklyn had to either re-sign him to keep him there or move him. Now, of course, he was the guy that won a ring with LeBron James back with the Cavaliers, and then he had
Right.
some stuff to say about LeBron and he left out. Now,
Uh-oh.
rumors had it that he was headed to Los Angeles to re-sign with the Lakers, but
Oh,
Brooklyn said, no,
we
you're
don't
going to
want
stay
you.
right here. And to answer the question that was asked me, I think it was a great move, and here's the reason why. You got $420 million on the table with Kevin Durant. If you don't bring Kyrie Irving back, Brooklyn obviously not going to the playoffs. And wherever Kyrie goes, that team is going to get better. And now you got a mad, upset Kevin Durant who can't get out of his contract because he just re-signed it last year for
Right.
$400 million.
Oh, good
So
for
it
him.
was a great move from Brooklyn. And with the draft pick that they got, you're going to see Brooklyn Nets in the playoff this year. And now that we've moved past COVID, because now we got to live with it, it shouldn't
Mhm.
be an issue.
Yeah. So I think that was a weird thing for him to just, be like, I don't want to play. But I didn't know what the Nets were gonna do. And that just now they've got to keep him so they can at least have. He's a talented player, but he was like, I ain't taking the shot.
Yeah, but the crazy part about it, Val, is this. And I was listening to D.O. Hughley the other day, and
I
he
love him.
made, yeah, I love D.O. He made jokes of. He says, "Here it is. This cat only worked for half a season. So you get up tomorrow and go to your job and tell them you ain't taking the COVID. And oh, by the way, I'm gonna need my salary from January to July, and I ain't gonna work. But I'm gonna give you my work from July to December. I'm gonna work 6 months." But I want you to still pay me that $100,000 you owe me, even though I'm going to work $50,000 worth. That's kind of what he did,
Pretty
right?
much. Pretty
Yeah,
much. Yeah, Kevin went ahead and said, thank you so much. Great assessment about him and the Brooklyn Nets, because I he's gonna stay and they gotta get their money's worth. I did
I get their money's worth, and you got to see it. I was hoping they let him go just to prove a point.
I know. Cause that to me, how you gonna tell your because when you are a player, you are literally beholding to the owner and then everybody else that is a part of that, the coaching team and the fans, all of that stuff. So it's like we want to see good ball. And if you're not on the floor because it's you, I don't want to take I don't want to take a shot. I get it, but I don't know.
Now, Val, go back and think about this, and Kevin put it out there. I know we got a lot of young people that's probably listening tonight, and we're live, California to New York, Miami to
Mhm.
Seattle. But go back and think. This is the first time something like this hit the NBA since Magic Johnson came out with the HIV news. Remember that?
Right, exactly. Yeah.
Right. So the NBA was fine. We haven't had any hiccups since then. But when Magic came out, only because we didn't have the knowledge of the HIV and what it can do. And as
Mhm.
Magic said, I just finished playing in the Olympics with Jordan, Karl Malone, and Pippen and everybody. And then you guys are horsing around. We win the Olympics. The Dream Team was the best Olympic team ever put together. And then we come back to the 91-92 NBA season. And now you're saying, if you play against me and I get some sweat on your arm, you're going to get HIV. Now you don't want to play the NBA again. That's like crazy.
I
So
know.
Magic decided to retire. So fast forward, you got a kid like Kyrie, the same thing, like you just said about, excuse me, I
Yeah.
coughed on my shoulder. Man, Kyrie could just gave me COVID. You know,
I'm not trying to get around. I'm not trying to
I'm,
get
I'm,
no
I'm, about, I'm about to meet him at his house. You know,
Let's take it outside, baby. Let's take it outside.
you ain't got to worry about playing. I'm about to do this right now. We're going to do this Chicago style. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy because but I can say this, Val,
Mhm.
and Kevin, in the audience, and know I'm a huge NBA guy. You know that I just love that the NBA that differs itself from NFL is that we have owners in the
Mm.
NBA who care about their players and they understand that the NBA, the players run the team and they understand how to make the front office money. So
Mhm.
if I'm behind Interludes and you making me millions of dollars, I don't care what you talk about, just keep bringing the money in, right?
Exactly.
But
Right.
if I go to tell you I don't like what Coach Tony and I don't like what Mike Womble's talking about every week, and you change the format, then you lose audience, you lose people, then now we got a problem, right?
Exactly.
So you got owners like Mark Cuban. Why do you think that these Microsoft guys they could have done anything with their life, right? They bought
Mhm.
NBA franchises because the excitement of the game and the opportunity to win a championship like Steph Curry and those guys did. And Steph and the Golden State, they proved that Kevin Durant, you actually wasn't the man. You came to Golden State to get a ring, and we just did it again without you.
Mm. Yeah, and you got a question on the floor. Um,
Morgan Park
Morgan
in the
Park.
house. Gary
All
Gray.
right. All right. So who's going to be the surprise player of the summer league?
I'm gonna go back again, G Money. I'm gonna go back again when the summer league starts. Watching it, you're going to see this kid, Jaden Ivey from Purdue, is
All
going to
right.
stop the world. This kid came out, fifth player. He's going to step up his game. He couldn't even interview the other night.
Oh
Think
no.
about it, Val. His mom has
Mhm.
had him in basketball since he's been a baby. She's a single mother. She's the
Okay.
head coach of Notre Dame University. She
Oh
has this
no.
kid playing ball. He then played down the street from Notre Dame and went to Purdue. And then she took another job as an assistant on an NBA roster. And then she coached the NBA guys in John Morant, and her son was there. And now he comes back and gets signed. This kid is ready. And no
Right.
one knows about it, but he's ready.
Right. And what is he? I want to say a junior. Where is he in school?
Yeah. He's came out as a sophomore, so he came out a rising
Sophomore.
sophomore, ready to be a junior. So he came
Okay.
out early, and
Um,
it is just it's awesome.
Yeah, and I hope now that we've done the NBA, the finals are over, the draft is done. We'll be positioning and pivoting to the WNBA and just kind of looking at some of the players and some of I'm actually looking excited. I'm actually excited to be going to a Chicago Sky game very
Come
soon.
on,
I
man.
am
Hey,
looking forward to
they
that. I
they
am
they
looking
rocking in
forward.
there. Hey,
They
when I was home,
are.
when the playoffs, I was home for that. They rocked, and then I was shocked. They
Oh.
packed that whole building completely out, and they said they get more fans in there than DePaul.
That is not surprising to me. That is like and they are the WNBA champions. So
Yeah,
I think it's going to be it's looking to be a very great season for them and also for a few other the teams that are out there, but I am rooting for the women, I am rooting for the girls, and hopefully we will be able to you go ahead and give us a heads up and give us a cover on that. Guys, wanted to give you a heads up, we for the July 4th weekend, because next week will be July 5th, we will not be here. We will be back in July on Tuesday, July 12th. And
rocking and
in
rolling.
exactly, rocking and rolling, because we want to make sure that well, it was a possibility I was going to go to Essence Music Festival and check out here it is.
You always got the red carpet down there, by the way, Val.
I always want to do the red carpet. I really wanted to see Janet. I really
Uh,
wanted to see Janet. Janet is performing at the Essence Music Festival, and I really would love to see her. But right now, you, the
I
yeah,
tell you, and I tell you, hey Kevin, I'll let you know. And this is great. Give us a couple weeks to do it. And I don't know if I'm gonna be able to pull it off or not. The last thing on sports, and if I can do it, I want to blow the entire internet. I'm gonna blow the interludes through the roof. I'm gonna lean on Noah, talk to him. I got to talk to him later on tonight anyway about a few other things. I'm gonna see if he can lock his boy Paolo Banchero, the number one draft pick in the NBA. See if he can lock him down to jump on the show here if it's nothing more than 5 or 10 minutes, maybe doing a summer league here coming up in Vegas and over the next few weeks. But if I do, I'll make sure I get that to Val, be pre-planned, and we make sure we get it up. But we got to do the numbers if we can get somebody like that on it. We got to be like a number one draft pick, baby. You got to show the numbers.
and actually, we tomorrow we will be presenting Womble. It's Womble time, but I will be guest starring for Mr. Womble on tomorrow. Hashtag Womble Wednesdays will be going live a little bit earlier, 5 p.m. Central, 6 p.m. Eastern, and we'll be doing a live audio slash video best of for our fifth season opening. So it's going to be a wonderful thing. And then we want to go ahead and let you guys know that this episode is brought to you by SAJ Publishing, and it's Dr. Stephen Jones. And he has created some of the best online training courses to assist parents in preparing your young teen or adult for college. If you are interested in learning more about getting your kid college ready, you can download the free ebook 7 Keys to a Successful Online Learning. Sign up at drjones.com and tell them that Interludes sent you.
There you
Coach,
go. There you go.
Coach, we are so happy you came
Hey, let me
and
tell you
filled
something.
in. You did a
I,
good job, bro.
hey, I got to close it out like Mike. I'm not Michael Womble, and I'm definitely not Val the Voice. But I'm the one and only Coach Tony. I appreciate it. And Val, take us home.
All right, guys. We'll see you on July 12th. We're out of here. Peace.